G'day guys, so today's video is going to be the second flight of my CY Models Edge 540. So this model was given to me by a friend and I did a series of videos over about 6 months where I went about rebuilding and refurbishing it. And the last video I did for this model was the maiden flight. Now, that maiden flight was, I guess you would say, semi-successful. It flew and it came back in one piece. And why I say in one piece is it was very tail heavy. So, as I said, this model was given to me, and it was given to me without instructions, and as the saying goes, flying blind. So I kind of had to guess what was going on, and I managed to find some instructions, and it was basically the same plane, same wingspan and everything. And like I looked at the pictures, it was a different livery, but it was the same framework and everything. And what happened is if we go over here, I'll just turn the camera around. So when I looked at the instructions, when it came to balancing the model, the instructions say from 150 millimeters from the tip of the leading edge that touches the fuselage back. So 150 millimeters. So for instance, can't really see the outline there from where it touches, but the tip is there, so about 150 millimeters back. So when I measured it, 150 millimeters turned out to be literally right in the middle of the wing spar tube here. So that's where the wing tube goes through that the wings attach on, and that was 150 millimeters. So I thought, sweet. So I balanced it, and when I was balancing it, it was perfectly level, and I hadn't added any weight. And I'm like, sweet. So the maiden flight came, and while it was, like I said, it was tail heavy. So while it was flying, it was a handful. It was basically going up and down like that because I was trying to keep it under control. And I brought it back in one piece, and I think I only did like 2 circuits with the model. So what I have done is I have added about 330 grams of lead. Now, you won't be able to see all the lead. However, I have lead. Where can we see? There it is. So I've got some lead there. It's been glued and epoxied on, and you won't be able to see it inside, but inside the top there I have more lead. And the lead that I used, excuse me Coco, I need to move. Sorry. So the lead that I use, apart from wheel weight lead, is this stuff here. So it's lead that you use in building. For instance, if you got a tile roof on your house and you have like a pipe coming out, like a vent pipe or something, this is the lead that goes around it. So I use that lead, and it's real easy. You literally just get a pair of scissors and cut it to what you need, and you can weigh it. And yeah, the lead is, probably can't see it, the lead is up there. So we've got some lead on the front now, and so when I did measured 150 millimeters and it was tail heavy, one of the other club members said to me that it would be an idea to move that forward 10 to 15 millimeters. So for the side of caution, I decided to do 15 millimeters. So 15 millimeters forward. So it's roughly about there instead of there. And when I rebalanced it, I needed about 320 to 330 grams of lead. So guys, I know it's a bit of flapping my gums here, just explaining the situation, but what we're going to do now is I'm going to have another concrete pill, and we're going to head out to the airfield, and hopefully flight 2 is going to be more successful. Alright guys, got the engine just warming up, did a range check, checked the control surfaces, so now time for a concrete pill. Hopefully this second flight will be more successful. If not, it is what it is. So let's get on with it. Give it a quick rev up. Alright. Well guys, here goes nothing. Oh wow, that's much better. Just gotta give it a bit of a trim. And Coco's barking, so she approves. Well, so far so good guys. This is just going to be a very relaxed flight. Isn't it amazing what 330 odd grams of lead makes? So I'm only at about half throttle here. The engine's still running fairly rich. More than enough power. Alright, we'll do a low pass. and the cows approve. Alright, now I don't know how long I will go on the tank of fuel because of the settings, so I'm going to slowly walk up the runway here a little bit. Steady she goes. Oh, look at that! Yes!
Flapped up. Off.
Well, I can unclench my sphincter now. What do you reckon, Coco? Was that good? Yeah? The wag of approval? That's good. Well guys, that is a successful second flight. And as you can tell from Coco, she's wagging with approval. The cows down there enjoyed the show, and that was a successful second flight. So if you, like I mentioned, this model, its first flight was tail heavy, and I have put about, like I said, about 330 grams of lead up the front here, and it is a completely different model to fly. So I am happy with that. The engine, I tell you, the engine performed flawlessly. What's the temperature like? Oh, it's not even, it's barely hot, so it is running quite rich. I tell you what we'll do, guys, is I will pause the video here and we will have a look at the fuel tank and get a rough idea of runtime. Well guys, I can honestly say it has used bugger all fuel. So that was a full tank, and it has probably used a little less than I would probably say, maybe a bit more than 1/8 of a tank, maybe probably in between 1/8 and 1/4 of a tank. So that is very, like I said, the engine is basically on factory settings. I did have it slightly tuned a little bit, just so that the engine can produce enough RPM and power to fly. But I tell you, I'm gonna leave it as it is for a while. It really does not need any more power. I would say it is probably above recommended power levels. Honestly, I reckon a DLE 30 would be more than sufficient for this model. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed watching the series as I went over rebuilding it and I guess refurbishing it. So that is the end of the series, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this second flight. Until then guys, enjoy your hobby and cheers.